Okay, I think we should be live right now. And hey, everyone. Welcome to another edition of InnMInd Web3 VC pitching sessions. Actually, this is the 18th session for this year. It has been a crazy ride. And we are truly grateful for the support from all the startups, VCs, and partners of InnMInd. And the next one will be on the 24th of January, 2024. So if you're interested as a startup, please apply right now. And for those who are new today, we start off with VC introductions firstly, and then startup pitches where each founder will get 5 minutes. That's 300 seconds, hard stop to pitch, and then 5 minutes of Q&A from VCs. If you're watching us on YouTube and LinkedIn, please drop your questions in the chat to start up. Our team will attend you, and looking forward to keep this session open and cozy. Now, yeah, let's get into the investor introductions, and let's start off with Apostle, who joined us today.
Hi everyone, thank you very much for having me. I'm Apostle, an analyst at Scytale, and just to give a brief summary of Scytale, we're an investment-focused fund that is Polkadot friendly. The reason being is the fact that Gavin Wood sits on our advisory board, and same for Aaron Buchanan. In terms of investment focus, I think at this time, I myself am most interested in companies that focus on infrastructure and tooling, real-world assets, and anything gaming related.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. Next up, we have Manu joining us from all the way from Aussie, I believe. Yeah?
No, Canada also.
Canada. All right.
Nice. Close enough, just the other end of the world.
just a little bit. Few words about your fund, Manu.
Yeah, so I'm the co-founder of Autonomy Capital. We're going on 3 years now. We started off as 2 people in North America, and now the team has expanded to 5. We have 3 guys in Europe as well. We're self-funded, so we're very diligent with the projects we invest in. We have more of a mid to long-term investment horizon, In terms of the sectors we're focused on, is pretty much what Apostle just said with regards to gaming, real-world assets, and whatnot. That's also what we're looking at right now.
Great, thank you. And next up, we have Sebastian from AQN Digital Ventures. Sebastian, are you with us?
Yeah, sorry, having technical difficulties. I'm Sebastian. I work at Aquanow/AQN. Also Canadian, Vancouver-based, but more of a global operation, I guess. Got offices kind of all over the place. Aquanow provides trading and liquidity infrastructure to all kinds of financial services around the world. And I work for our investment management team, where we've got 2 mandates. One's early stage venture, one's digital yield. We're focused on the early stage venture side. We're focused on infrastructure, data and analytics, and compliance or compliant tech. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Sebastian. Thanks for joining us. Next up, we have Valentina from Gain Ventures.
Hi everyone, Valentina here. I'm one of the founding partners at Gain Ventures. And Gain is a venture studio out of the Duke ecosystem, where we have some really great resources at Duke. And really our mission is to make those available to the broader Web3 and crypto community. We have an accelerator coming up soon, and we're always, happy to be here and collaborate with InnMInd. So excited to hear.
Happy to have you. Thank you so much, Valentina. Next up, we have Sumit from Blockshift Capital.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, I'm myself, Sumit. I'm from Blockshift Capital. We are multi-strategy VC and a quant fund. Currently, we are focused on mostly liquid markets and doing early stage VC funding, mostly in GameFi projects. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sumit. Okay,
pleasure
perfect.
To be here.
Great. Okay, let's jump to the juicy part where the startup pitches. I would like to give the mic to Yuri, presenting Claimr today. A no-code viral marketing engine for Web3, already 50 plus Web3, Web2 apps, and 70 EVM compatible blockchains. Let me give you the mic. Yuri, please present your startup. You have 5 minutes right now.
Yeah, hi guys, my name is Yuri, as been told. So we're building Claimr. Essentially, Claimr is basically embeddable software that allows to launch gamified airdrops, giveaways, referral campaigns, anything on any front end, basically inside any application, decentralized application, mobile application. Few words about our team. My background is in product marketing in a corporation called Yandex. For the last 7 years, I've been growth hacking Web3, built the biggest community back in 2018 of 350,000 people and multiple more communities. Max been technical director in Ubisoft, and he led the development of Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. And Adrian been leading Ubisoft Europe. You know how to scale company from 0 to 1,000. So the issue that we're solving is basically originally we wanted to build a game. Then we realized the game going to have an issues with actual distributing of whatever they have, because you cannot actually distribute a game if you raise $10 million, you need way more. So the most of the funnels in the Web3 right now are broken. In the middle, there is nothing to automate retention, referral, and engagement, but there is a lot of sources of traffic. And it basically 100% of all the projects with a couple of exceptions. So what Claimr does, it basically integrates this automated solution to any kind of front end. So we see right now we have 20 clients on a subscription. We see increase in retention, dramatic decrease in customer acquisition rate, increase of conversion rate over and over and over again. Claimr basically integrates as API or SDK to any front end. We have a lot of deep integrations with games, with marketplaces. It also can be used just as a basically widget that integrates into your landing page if you have something like TGE. In terms of front end, we're completely customizable. We have like our own internal creator mode that you can use in our admin panel. We work on all the front ends right now. We support over 17 blockchains. We can track any on-chain action in the 17. They're going to be here. It says 3, but we got two more partnership. It's going to be 5. So the whole idea is that with Claimr, you can create this. So first of all, we have nothing to do with companies like Zilli and Galaxy. We don't make any kind of Quest platform. What we do is basically embeddable solution for any project. So you can reward your users for referring more friends, for adding your liquidity to liquidity pool, sharing your content, maybe some in-app action, answering questions, so on and so forth. Basically, it's growth hacking Photoshop, as we've been called by our partners who integrate us. On the backend, we also gather enormous amount of data where we basically enrich Web2 data with Web3 data, meaning we know where users came from, how much money they have, what was their previous activity, where they hang around, and this data can be used live for any marketing campaign. For example, creating lookalike audiences, finding similar users, and we see that when it's used, it's dramatically decreased the customer acquisition cost. Of course, you can make payouts of all the prizes using our system, so we basically provide end-to-end solution. Right now, we have 17 clients, 41% conversion rate. So 2 days ago, we sold our first 10K subscription. Right now, we have 5 more clients for 10K subscription, multiple integrations, Chromia blockchain, bunch of L2s, Republic.com, which is not Web3. DMarket is the top 1 gaming item marketplace in the world, replacing Gleam with us. And we have way more clients that we can possibly project. Right now, we have $300,000 in potential lead value for Q1 2024. So what's the model? We basically charge 5 cents per action. It would be less if you actually buy big packages. We see it happening over and over. This is outdated number. On average, clients live with us 3K. We also gather, I think, unique data that not really generated by any other project. So we know that estimation of 1 row of our data is from $3 to $6. We have multiple, dozens of thousands right now rows, and we think that in a year is going to be millions. We distribute it through referral partners and marketing agencies right now, giving revenue share. We don't spend any money on marketing. We have more integration than any other player in the world. We see that Web2 companies switch from Gleam, and the only big competitor to us is Chasm right now. So we have very detailed plan what we need to raise for. Basically, we need to scale our backend, DevOps, and sales operations. Everything you see here in pink is basically AI. Right now, we're introducing Q1 next year AI that actually helps to analyze all the data that we're gathering to optimize your campaigns, find botnets, and basically to find any kind of insights that help you grow. It works pretty well. We're testing it now with 1 client. We're raising 1.5 million basically to scale backend and sales. Right now, we are generating around 20K MRR. It's going to be twice more January, February next year. And potentially in the future, when we generate 10 million rows in our database, we potentially might tokenize our data and make it RWA. Right now, we work with RWA projects like Republic.com that recently launched their token. Yeah, so briefly speaking, this is it. Happy to answer all of the questions, guys. 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, Yuri, you're the best. Thank you so much for an amazing pitch. I'll open up the questions for VCs.
So we grew like 12-fold in 3 months, just to give you some idea. So anyway,
great.
Any questions?
Thank you. Amazing.
Yeah, sure.
Questions, VCs? Please unmute yourself. Yes, Valentina.
That's awesome, Yuri. Congratulations. Walk me through the onboarding process. So if I'm Republic, how long does it take, and how many?
Yeah, so the fastest onboarding we experienced was with a game called Farcana. They're trending now on BNB. It took 2 days. So with Republic, it took a little bit longer because they're a bigger campaign. So most of the thing, it can be self-hosted, but sometimes when you need some special thing, maybe some kind of front-end part, we help with that. We have a special part of the team dedicated to that. We're actually raising to make it completely self-serviceable. Right now, it requires a little bit of our help, but we have a bunch of integrators, meaning like marketing agencies that integrate instead of us right now. So with Republic, we're launching actually tomorrow on Friday. It's up to them. Everything is already, it took like 3 days more or less, but it mostly was signing the papers, and we don't have automatic signing of contract. This is an issue, an automatic payment. Everything else is pretty much self-hosted. It's a no-code platform. You don't need to code to build it.
Right. And then if I'm going to let someone else ask questions. If not, I'll
sure.
After.
I mean, please, Valentina, you can ask questions as well, and then others can ask. Like, no worries. Yes.
All right. So you mentioned right now marketing is mostly done through referrals, and you have a cost share there, or no?
No, not really. Referrals is just one of the mechanics. So with Claimr, you can create multiple quests, and referral is just one type of thing that you can automate and reward the users for. For example, some of our clients reward users for adding liquidity to liquidity pool. So we can basically just predict the TVL going to increase, because if you have two similar projects and one of them reward users for keeping their liquidity in liquidity pool and other is not, users always going to choose the one that rewards them, right? And we reward users for anything. It's most of the time combination between referral, sharing your offers, activating on different social media, creating content. We have a case where multiple of people from Nigeria have been creating TikTok videos for Clean campaign, like Clean Wallet, and sharing it with their friends. So you combine this whole thing. So if you think about it, we have a term called ideal customer behavior. Think what your ideal customer should do, automate it with Claimr, reward them with loyalty points or your tokens. And instead of paying USD to your like Twitter ads, you can basically pay with your digital assets to your existing community. And the combination of the thing, this is what makes the difference, right? This is what makes a viral effect, decrease some customer acquisition cost. We are not referral campaign. We're not a quest platform. We allow you to combine any kind of mechanics you have in mind, both in Web 2 and Web 3, to reward your users for whatever you want them to do. So it's not a referral automation. It's just a part of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
So I have a question. Actually, I have a few.
Awesome.
The projects that you listed that you signed up, is it like a one-time deal, or is it ongoing business? Because they don't always have airdrops and stuff to do.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you keep business repeating?
Yeah. So what we're experiencing right now, that half of our clients having so-called deep integration, meaning they want to integrate the product basically they want to integrate their product with Claimr, so they can reward on ongoing basis their users for any kind of action within the app. It would be like, let's say, demarket, non-bank, new neobank. So this is what we start with, but we see that most of the clients, we have churn rate like less than 15%, and it's not even clients who left us. That's someone who maybe don't have money right now and they want just maybe smaller projects. Bigger projects, they want ongoing engagement, retention, and referral with the incoming traffic. So the question is, do you want increased conversion, retention rate, and referral traffic all the time, or you want it only like on a episode basis? So most of the clients want it all the time, meaning they integrate us within their apps, mobile apps, front ends all the time. They start with campaign to test us out, but what we see over and over and over, like our churn is pretty low. Because why would you spend money on marketing without amplifying it with Claimr and not collecting the data? It makes zero sense. Why would you do that? And most of companies understands that. And so it's a subscription-based model, basically. It's a subscription-based model. Yeah.
Right. But these clients are paying you with fiat. Is that correct?
I would say 70% of them actually paying us with stable coins, 30% paying us by IBAN with euros. So we allow both payment types. Yeah.
Right. So I saw that you're raising for a safe plus tokens. Who's going to buy these tokens? Why would they buy these tokens? I don't see any use case to these tokens.
We do not issue any
Nor a
tokens
market.
right now. The only thing that we're saying that potentially, we, as I said, and it's written in our pitch deck, potentially in the future we can tokenize this data so we can be used as a data broker for Web3, which do not exist right now because there is no structured data actually in the market. So we don't do it right now. Token actually do not add anything to our core business value, but potentially it can be a thing that can be potentially tokenized and turned into RWA. So Republic.com actually now launching RWA with us, and they're tokenizing private equity. So we believe that RWA are going to be not tokenization of your farms and commercial real estate, but more things like data, private equity, things that you can actually count online. So in the future, we consider this as an option, but right now we're actually considering mostly like equity investment, but in the future we can have a token warrant.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Is there any solid way to get on-chain users using your portal? Like most of the projects that we work has a lot of issue in getting quality on-chain users.
Yeah, so regarding the quality of users, we have basically all the possible solution to filter it out. We know that Sybil attacks is one of the main issues. So right now you can, for example, filter your campaign and you can allow only people who have certain amount of value on the wallets. You can figure out what the previous activity was and you can basically automate it in no-code manner in the Claimr. You can limit amount of users who, for example, don't have more than 100 followers on Twitter. We have a bunch of ways to deal with Sybil attacks. We can even integrate for our clients biometric verification, like in Neobank, when you move your face and figuring out you're human is just very expensive. We also support basically any kind of blockchain ID and blockchain passport to figuring out what's on the basis. So we work with Nomis, we work with Sysmo, with CyberConnect, a bunch of other guys, and it's very easy for us to implement. It's very modular system. So if you want to protect your campaign from bot attacks, we have AI on top that analyzing all the kind of entries, figuring out handles, figuring out user activity, and giving you scoring of the user. You can use on-chain verification. You can use all kinds of capture. You can use biometric verification. It's just very it's pretty expensive, I have to say, but it's up to you. It depends on your budget. So whatever you have in mind, you can filter all your participants using our tools.
Cool, done.
Great. Any other questions, VCs?
Thanks a lot, guys. So if any more questions, yeah.
I think Sebastian has a question.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, just if we have time, yeah. I was just kind of curious, like what kind of like I see that there's like a dashboard for rewarding and that kind of stuff. What kind of like data is collected and reported back to your clients or whatever else around like who's engaging, what they're doing, and like down funnel too.
That's my favorite topic actually. So because on the front end we work as an engagement tool for automating airdrops and giveaways, but on the back end this is what gets me excited the most. So think about it this way. So what kind of data we're gathering? We're gathering all kind of Google attribution, right? Where user came from, what kind of campaign it was, what kind of medium it was. We track all the social media. So if any kind of action been done on a Snapchat, on a WeChat, on a Facebook, on Instagram, doesn't matter. We're going to track who this user was, where he hangs around, his email, his wallet worth, how much assets he actually holding right now, what was his previous experience on chain. So basically, we're using, and we know all the answers on all the surveys that been used, like he filled using Claimr. He don't know it's Claimr, it was any kind of project. So we have is at the one row that giving you qualitative and quantitative data. Basically, where he's hang arounds, how much money he has, what was his previous experience in Web3, what all of his social media and what of his email, and basically everything else, like what he likes and what his favorite color of t-shirts, if it wasn't inside your service. So you have it as a just user ID line, and you can use all of it for like your marketing needs or whatever you want. And we do it live, right? It's not like Zilli when you need to like download it for some reason or generate like and it's 10 times cheaper than anything else in the market. And we can prove that. So you can plug in your CRM and it just works.
Super cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Great. I mean, thank you so much, Yuri. I think it's an amazing product, and this is for anyone who wants to run their viral marketing campaign. You know where to go. So please reach out. to Yuri. Thank you
It's
so
going
much
to be
for joining
February,
us.
guys. January is fully booked. December fully booked. February, it's fine. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. Cool. Next up, we have Corey Wright, representing Honeyland, a mobile-first blockchain strategy game where players assume the role of a beekeeper to manage their colony of bees and lands built on Solana. So amazing traction. I'll let Corey speak.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, my name is Corey Wright. I'm the CEO. I'm one of the co-founders of Honeyland. We are a, let's get to the next slide, a mobile game. We are a casual strategy and resource management game built on Solana blockchain. As mentioned, you assume the role of beekeeper, send your bees out on strategic missions to go bring back resources from the environment. These resources can be shards or items that can be used to strengthen and grow your colony of bees. It can also be in the form of our HXD token, where you can bring back the HXD token. This is a token that's traded on decentralized exchanges, soon to be traded on centralized exchanges, but it is the currency of the entire ecosystem. So it fuels everything that you want to do inside of Honeyland. I think more importantly, we've really cracked the code to Web3 gaming, and we've created a completely frictionless Web3 gaming experience for anyone in the world. And we believe that this really needs 5 components that we've unlocked. The first one is discovery. We're discoverable in Google Play and Apple App Stores worldwide. So you can find us with a search anywhere in the world and download it directly to your phone to start that process. Onboarding is super simple to where players can create their account with a Google or an Apple ID. We create a non-custodial wallet in the background, so completely frictionless to this point. As they enter the ecosystem, if they want to, spend more money than time to accelerate their kind of progress in the game, they can do so by actually purchasing HXD as an in-app purchase using Google Pay or Apple Pay. Now, there are the in-app purchase fees, that 30%, but we gamify this. So while you only get about 70% of the value of tokens that you're actually purchasing, we use mystery crates and gotcha mechanics to actually add in-game items to that purchase as well, which helps fill in the gap there. And so super easy discovery, onboarding, crypto on-ramp. One of the things that I'm most proud of and the things that we're doing completely unique to any other project right now is that we give players the ability to buy and sell their NFTs inside of an in-game marketplace using our currency. Now, we've been working with Magic Eden for the last 4 months to have them completely rework their system and how it works. This is the #1 marketplace for Solana NFTs. Players can now buy and sell our Honeyland project NFTs using HXD on Magic Eden, as well as inside of our app. This allows us to have a completely shared order book. So Web3 players can list on Magic Eden, and Web2 players can discover inside of our app. Web2 players can list inside of our app, and Web3 players can discover on Magic Eden. So it gives just a broad essence of not only discoverability, but utility for the token as well. And then the final stage being allowing players to convert their HXD into other currencies using the crypto off-ramp. And so you can see we've created this entirely end-to-end player experience that unlocks everything that Web3 brings to the table in terms of the ability to custody and buy and sell and trade assets, the ability to earn and spend cryptocurrency, the ability to have real stakes gaming inside of an app, but completely removing the friction that Web3 brings to the table traditionally with Web3 games. Of course, you can do it in the full Web3 process as well, using wallets to log in and discovering us in dApp stores and trading on traditional marketplaces. So how's it working out? Couple metrics that I think you guys will find interesting. We have currently about 3,000 daily actives, 7,000 weekly actives, and 16,000 monthly active users. We have 57,000 lifetime registered players. These are players who have registered, created an account, and played to some extent inside of Honeyland. We have insane organic user retention numbers, 68% day 1, going all the way to 50% at day 30. It is an insanely fun and addictive game once you get in. Layers and layers of strategy, yet really easy to actually onboard and start playing, and we are growing daily. In terms of revenues, we've generated $1.2 million of in-game revenues since launch. We're generating currently about $3,500 in revenues on a daily basis, which is an average revenue per daily active user of just over $1. And about just over a third of our players are spending daily inside of Honeyland. We've also got a couple really cool partnerships. I talked about the Magic Eden one, something that they were incredibly as excited about as we were. I think it's not only important for us and for Magic Eden, but for the entire Solana Web3 ecosystem in terms of what that unlocks. We're launching a partnership with MasterCard in January, a fully gamified, what we call integrated brand experience inside of Honeyland to give players benefits, to put a really, really cool way for global reputable brands to start to connect with Web3 players. This will be the first of many, and hopefully the first of many brands as well. And then, so what's next? So we're raising right now $3 million. It's a $30 million safe with a token warrant. It is currently 50% funded, so we've got about 1.5 million left to fill. Although we, since even booking this, have had quite a bit of follow-up interest. People getting a little bit later stage to kind of soft circled and commit. So would love to still chat with you guys, but also filling up relatively quickly. The funds will be used to really ramp up user acquisition. The goal is 20,000 daily active users by the end of Q4. I should mention our team has previously owned ad networks that have driven millions of downloads for companies like King, Machine Zone, Zynga, some of the biggest mobile games in the space. And then we're also working towards centralized exchange listings in early 2024 to bring a lot more liquidity to that token. Thank you guys so much and would love to chat.
Thank you so much, Corey. It was an amazing pitch. Investors, VCs, please, questions.
I have a question with regard to the valuation of your safe. You said $30 million, is that correct?
Correct.
Right. So I'm looking on CoinGecko right now. Your market cap is 12 million and the fully diluted is around 70, and that's because it 3x'd in the past month. So isn't $30 million a bit high?
I don't think 30 million is high at all. I think that what you'll find is when you look into what we've been doing, we've been building incredibly quietly. We've built one of the most powerful Web3 games in the space. We've done it without hype. We are Web2 builders. I've been building companies for 2 decades, moving into the Web3 space. The difference is Web2, you build a product, and when it works really well, it generates hype. In Web3, traditionally companies try and generate hype, and if they get enough of it, they try and figure out how to build a product. So we've been building in the Web2 based on first principles. Is the more you look into the project, you'll realize that what we've built is something incredibly strong with an incredible foundation. I think the token has a ton of upside from here. But yeah, we started to finally gain a little bit of attention, which is part of the reason for the token. But remember, it's both a safe and a token warrant. You're getting exposure to the project of Honeyland with the token. You're also getting exposure to the studio of Hexagon Studios and everything that we built from the infra side that can certainly be duplicated into other projects in the future.
Right. No, I understand that. I'm just saying that up until a month ago, you were sub 30 million. And I see that the volume is quite low. So I'm just trying to understand where you came up with that number. I remember you were selling passes over a year ago, like a year and a half ago as well. I think I bought a platinum pass at that point. So how is that working out? I didn't really follow up, I'll be honest with you. So how is that working out? Is it are people using it? And you sold a lot of merchandise as well.
Yeah, the passes, I think your platinum pass is worth somewhere around 50 or 60 SOL right now, although they don't trade very frequently because people want to hold on to them. We've done a really good kind of loyalty program with those. And we use those as kind of an initial way to build whitelist for our mint for people who wanted to guarantee. But yeah, all of our NFTs have held significant value, particularly the ones that are fixed supply. I think the 3 assets that you really want to own inside of our project right now are land, Genesis NFTs, and the token. Those are the 3 things that have fixed supply. They've held their value really, really well over time. And again, I think that you'll find when you just look at every asset that we've built completely through a bear market, everything has increased in value since the day that we sold it. And that's because we've built on first principles. We've done things incredibly intentionally. And our goal is to build not just a quick game that has the ability to make a bunch of people really rich. We're not building a play and earn game. We're building a play and own ecosystem that is intended to be incredibly sustainable and fun for not just the 3,000 players playing today, but moving into 20 and eventually 6 figures of daily actives.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Sebastian.
I think I may have missed this. So like when you work on like a partnership with someone on like this future of advertising side of things or whatever else, like, do you have to retool the whole game, or like how does that work? Like what kind of like resource requirements are there? Like how many of those do you think you could do? And I'm just kind of curious about how that kind of comes together.
Yeah, really good question. So our goal is that we're building what we call integrated brand experiences. So traditionally mobile advertising is about when you get in between games, you watch 15 seconds of a commercial, can't wait to fast forward, run away as quickly as you could. We wanted to find ways that we could just build value for both the brand and the player inside of the ecosystem. So MasterCard will come to us, they pay us a sum of money. We basically go develop something for them. In this case, it's going to be in the form of We're building like a mintable trait. We built a fusion system that's a cosmetic fusion system, so players can actually go purchase that trait. They can then fuse that onto, it's all a generative collection of bees, so they can fuse that trait, remove whatever their shirt or hat or eye trait is, move the MasterCard trait on. We update some of the metadata to actually give that bee then additional utility inside of the game. And so now MasterCard bees will be floating around our ecosystem for a long, long time. We've talked about future experiences with them that take place both IRL on their system as well as ours. Things like where you can on-ramp with MasterCard as a way to purchase HXD, get some sort of a statement credit. We've talked about being able to use MasterCard points to purchase assets or items that would be exclusive inside of Honeyland, only purchasable in MasterCard points. We've talked about being able to do things like land is one way that rewards are emitted, is basically going on missions to lands, creating MasterCard lands where the rewards would be 2 or 3 or 4x over a period of time. So MasterCard could come in, purchase some of our token assets from the treasury, and then we could dump those back into player rewards into the ecosystem. We have another brand partnership that's going to go live this month with Sabona. They are a KK Sabona. They are a European League basketball team in Croatia, professional basketball team. They're looking for ways to activate fans, bring more global streams. And so we've got some really cool stuff that we're going to do for them as well to activate inside. And so we just feel like we can take these, that we've got a game. And if we just build an experience, it's a gamified experience for the players that has some sort of reward on the end, that we can have players running to brand experiences as opposed to waiting to see how quickly they can click through it. To answer more specifically the question, what's the development and how quickly can we do these? We've really built our system in a way that we can find, it's gamified all over the place. There's daily spins, there's rewards, there's raffles, there's emissions that come through land rewards. And so the idea of Web3, where everything's really tokenized, we have wallets, we have the ability to directly get assets into the hands of players that they can own in custody, gives us a lot of ability to do things differently than any Web2 game can do. So incredibly flexible, and we'll get creative with this over time to continue to do more and more experiences.
Super cool. Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Sebastian.
Great. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Corey. It was a pleasure having you, and I think the rest will follow up via introductions. Next up we have Michael, representing SparqLabs, a Web3 2.5 infrastructure provider enabling hyperscalable blockchains with native cross-chain rails with Orbit SDK enhancing C++ template up to 400,000 transactions per second. So Michael, your 5 minutes starts now. I think you're muted, Michael.
All right, cool, got it. All right, so hey guys, I'm Michael, the co-founder and CEO at SparqLabs. We've been building a whole new type of application layer for decentralized applications without the limitations seen with EVM networks. It became super evident early on in our Web3 journey that projects wish to find ways of decentralizing their whole platforms, but didn't have a clear path or environment that could support that in one layer. And that is exactly what we've solved by removing the virtual machine and implementing a programmable dedicated blockchain solution that is EVM compatible, fully cross-chain, and capable of over 5,000% more throughput than the most efficient EVM network. Building blockchains is not an easy task. And so since 2022, when we won that Avalanche hackathon, we have been refining our blockchain development kit to a point where a lot of our key customers are able to deploy their blockchain within a matter of minutes and leverage our C++ contract engine to build super simple contracts, as what's seen in most EVM networks, probably in a matter of a few days, to highly complex systems in a matter of a month, maybe a little bit longer. And so we're expanding on this to support up to 6 languages within the next 2 years, own the whole development cycle from hardware to software, and have a super clear path for scaling decentralized applications to millions or even billions of users in one layer. Our architecture is very different to a conventional blockchain solution. And so our contracts are hard-coded into validators, making it near impossible to deploy conventional attack vectors where bad actors introduce malicious smart contracts, which are usually meant to exploit systems of decentralized finance. And that amount has basically accumulated to over $7 billion over these past few years. The best feature of SparqNet is our proprietary consensus algorithm, which enables us to predictably choose blocks, prevent failures in block creation, and provide industry-leading throughput. This is coupled with our asynchronous execution of our applications that get deployed and allows us to scale in a parallel way. Our protocol collects fees for any application chain choosing to interact with our cross-chain tooling, whether it's a token or a data transfer, or the applications being registered with the network itself. Our company is also an issuer of licenses for industry-leading products, such as our DeFi blueprint, which is coming next month with a few of our key partners, which is a decentralized order book system, which we're generating income on through the utilization of it. We're a very utility-driven company, and all mechanisms of our network are purposed to be executed in a fully distributed environment while providing crucial and convenient products to our application builders that drive revenue to our validators. We have over 24 partners across 3 key verticals, including DeFi, GameFi, and Enterprise. More specifically, VaporFi. They are advancing their current DEX product offering with our decentralized exchange order book system. Pulsar, it's a game within the Avalanche ecosystem, decentralizing their whole server side, including with multiplayer. And then we have Covalent, an indexing protocol currently indexing all application deployments within our network and external networks. A majority of our builders are new to the Web3 space, which makes our familiar language support a fan favorite. We have plans to launch within this next year and are building up dev support teams to assist new developers of SparqNet to get support that they need, especially with this new technology stack. We're also building up an ambassador program with affiliate programs to drive demand and use to build our products. With our next testnet, we plan on initializing a grants program where developers can apply for tokens in exchange for building useful and new products to the SparqNet ecosystem. And these tokens are locked for purposes of utilization, covering the costs of deploying and using validated services within SparqNet, all paid to validators. And so since about late 2022, we raised $680,000 from our capital partners, which has effectively completed the construction of our deployable application chain technology. And now we're moving into the next stage of our journey where we're raising 1.5 million, and that is to complete the networking and tool out of our infrastructure that enables us to launch into mainnet going into next year and get to market probably by about Q1 to Q2. And that, coupled with a clear path of future development to basically ease and remove friction as it pertains to application development. And that 1.5 million is being raised at a 15 million FDV. It's an extension of our seed round from last year with the same terms as well. And I want to thank you guys for your time, and I'll take any questions.
Thank you so much, Michael. Great pitch. Investors, please unmute yourself and shoot your questions to Michael. I think Manu, you're on mute.
No, sorry. Go ahead. No question.
Okay. Valentina, Sebastian, Apostle, Sumit.
I can ask a question. Yeah. I will probably be the only person who is interested in this, but can you talk a little bit about the compliant private blockchains that you have on your roadmap for Q2 of next year?
Yeah, so it's basically permission blockchains that allow our builders to basically create a path where you could permission access to the actual blockchain itself. And then you can also permission the actual syncing of the data at that level. So it effectively makes it so it's a gated blockchain, which also has Rails 2 shared environments if needed.
Yeah, so like I guess that kind of brings me to like a question for that as well as what you've kind of done so far, like it's a pretty competitive landscape, and of course, like you do have some differentiators, right? But well, how do you get someone to build or like to build on SparqNet, or how do you pitch an enterprise on using a SparqNet private blockchain versus something like Hyperledger? These things have a little bit more kind of like some of the existing in market offerings have more like proven traction, I guess. Maybe not all the functionality that you do, but like if I'm a new dev and it's like, oh, okay, here, build on my chain, this token's got already a lot of value, as opposed to like, let's assume this token's going to grow in value from like a treasury standpoint. Or like it's like, if you go to pitch to an enterprise, it's like, you can use Hyperledger or some of these other kind of like private blockchains out there. How do you see yourself like competing with these in market offerings already?
Yeah, so I mean, there's different focuses of each enterprises. I mean, some will want to host all of their systems on premise, which we can also support. I think familiarity for existing developers is probably the biggest thing that we tackle, especially with the multiple languages that we support. So, I mean, like with C++, most business systems over the past 3 decades roughly have been building on C++. Also with C#, some stacks in Python. These are all languages that we are going to be supporting within the next 2 years. Really, the other piece of that value proposition is going to be being able to build your own distributed system within this one layer environment, rather than using mechanisms of scale that basically create these additional layers that add complexity to the deployments. So it's a much more simple deployment. You can build everything into one layer, and you can build super advanced systems that might already exist and port them into Web3 very easily.
That's awesome. Actually, that's a really cool point. I don't know if anyone else cares about this, but the ability to host like the blockchain on-prem is like super important. Like we do a lot of business in like Turkey, for example, and all like any bank infrastructure has to be on-prem. Like you can't use cloud for anything. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Great. Any other questions? Or maybe we can actually later follow up, Michael, with the rest of the investors who are investing in, serious infrastructure projects. Thank you so much for presenting, Michael. Cheers.
Yep. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Great. Next up, we have David Scott representing EvilGenius Games, an interesting tabletop role-playing game based on blockbuster film franchises. Dave, over to you. Your 5 minutes starts now.
Great. And now for something completely different. So my name is Dave Scott, and I'm with EvilGenius Games. EvilGenius Games makes tabletop role-playing games. If you have ever played Dungeons and Dragons, or you will have an idea of what we do. But we're a little bit different. What we actually have is a tabletop a role-playing engine, which is actually based on 5th edition, which is the D&D model. But we actually work with Hollywood in order to actually create games based on famous movie franchises. So far, we've actually released 8 games out into the marketplace with 3 different studios. And through that process, we've done over $1 million in revenue since the first launch, which was in April, so about 6 months ago. Just to give you a little bit of idea about the traction and the size of the market, it's a $30 billion market with 11.2% growth. So it's planned to be $50 billion by 2028. There are about 50 million players worldwide that just play D&D, and about 150 million that play tabletop role-playing games in general. We have 8 exclusive deals today. And we're actually selling our product inside of 3,000 stores worldwide, 17 countries, and 3 languages. I actually have partnered with a gaming luminary, a guy named Jeff Grubb, who's responsible for modern day Dungeons and Dragons, as well as famous video game titles like Guild Wars 2 and Elder Scrolls. before we actually even created the product, we actually raised $650,000 in crowdfunding. And then, as I mentioned, we've delivered about $1 million of revenue since our product has been public in April. Listen, DeFi's been around since 1970, and it has hardly changed. And so while you might think, hey, tabletop means physical product, and by the way, we do sell physical product. What we're doing right now is we're transitioning from physical product to digital product. We wanted to create a physical product to be able to prove that we could do it, prove ourselves in the marketplace. But in 2 years' time, everything that we're going to do is going to be all online, all digital, and it's all going to be supported by blockchain technology. We've actually developed a team today that's actually starting that process now. We actually have an organized play app, which is in beta right now with 14 retail stores. And then we also have a game companion app, which will be launching in January, February of next year. The game companion app is relatively interesting because it's going to have 4 components to it. The first is it's going to be a digitized game. So you never have to buy the books again. You can just carry the laptop or your iPad into the game. Second, we're actually going to allow you to be able to create adventures using AI. So if you're a game master, you can say, give me an adventure in a subway tunnel where I fight a biker gang. And it'll actually build the adventure on the fly for them. The third is user-generated content. A lot of people who play tabletop role-playing games realize that it's a lot of people like to create their own worlds. Well, we're actually going to create an economy which allows people to build these worlds, build functionalities, build new rules on our platform, and then be able to sell, buy, rent, or trade them. And then the last is online gameplay. The organized play app is basically something that we give away to the retailers, which encourages gameplay at their stores. We actually have 300 stores in the waiting list, and we have we're working with the 14 stores during the beta, so they're very excited about this. This is how we're going to build organic growth, by getting people to play the game physically and then go back in and then buy subscriptions online. Just a little bit of background about me before we start talking about the round. I'm a 4-time entrepreneur. I've actually started and sold 3 venture-backed companies. My first was an e-commerce company that I sold to Toys R Us. My second was a marketing DSP that I sold to WPP. And my third was a comedy streaming app that I sold to Kevin Hart. And then in between that, I've worked for small and large companies. I just recently in June left Amazon Web Services, where I was chief of staff for the CMO, as well as director of marketing strategy and operations. And then prior to that, I was vice president of marketing at Twitter. We actually did a $1 million seed a year ago with 5 amazing funds. We're doing about a $500,000 seed now. And we're actually doing a 30% discount for anyone who comes into the round by the end of this year. So I think that's it for my time, and I'm happy to answer any questions or do some show and tell with the product.
Thank you so much, Dave. It was nice. Investors, please, questions.
I can kick it off. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
I guess my question is a little more about you. It sounds like you have some really good experience in just traditional marketing space, traditional like media, I would say. What made you, go into blockchain?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so listen, like my background is marketing. So I have an MBA from Wharton. I've got a computer science undergrad degree. I've started 4 companies. I've been VP of marketing at companies like Oracle, AT&T, Amazon Web Services, and Twitter. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I was 11 years old, and just a huge geek about it. When I was at Amazon, Jeff Grubb, my co-founder, was running Amazon Game Studios. And he and I connected. We got a chance to chat. And this game is actually a reboot of a game that he made 20 years ago. So we were able to get the license from Hasbro. We were able to reboot it and bring it out. And so it's really more of a passion project than really me necessarily looking at it from a scientific perspective. But that being said, the economics have been amazing, which is why we've been able to attract so many fantastic funds. It cost me about $20,000 to make this game. I print it for about $1, and we actually break even on pre-orders. So it's probably the best economics of any business I've ever created, and I've created a lot of businesses.
So then, what do you need funding?
Well, we need funding because we're making the transition from physical to online, right? So,
Okay.
so we built out an engineering team, and as well as we do these large blockbuster deals, right? So we did 8 deals. I probably could have done 20 of them. And next year we've got some really amazing deals coming out. We have Mad Max, we've got a Godfather game, we've got a Matrix game, and all those do cost some upfront money. So being able to use some of the capital for that, as well as continuing to support our tech team and launching our SaaS platform.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Sebastian, Jack, Apostle, Sumit?
Yeah. Fire away.
I hate asking this question, but I honestly I've kind of need to get that to the bottom of it. Like how does blockchain factor into this at all? Like, and like, does it need to?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. A couple things, right? One is, you know, I like blockchain because of the design principles around it, right? So if you take a look at our product, we actually have a gaming engine, and what we're doing is we're atomizing the gaming engine so that anyone could build on top of it. It's like the ability to be able to mod against it. If you actually take a look here, I'm just going to show you really quickly. This is called DM's Guild. And DM's Guild is basically not owned at all by D&D, but this is all user-generated content. All these people are fans of Dungeons and Dragons, and they've all made their own content for it, just because they're super fans. Like this guy right here just created this manual for exercises for your D&D character, and basically he charges $3.67. He's a platinum bestseller. He sold thousands of these things, right? But the economy that I want to create is I want to create one where if he has the inspiration to do this, I'm going to let him do it. I want him to own it. I want him to be able to buy, sell, and trade it. I want him to be able to rent it, give it away. And I want to be able to have that Web3 economy built into it. 5 years from now, I don't think I'm going to ever be creating content at all. I'm going to let my users create content, and I'm going to let AI create content. And that's the economy that I like to create for my game.
I see. Okay, gotcha. Thanks. And sorry if you covered that before. I may have missed it. I hate
No,
asking that question. I feel
I totally did not. So I appreciate that.
Oh, okay, good. It's like I feel like that one, and then like what keeps you up at night are the 2 worst questions in the space. But yeah, no. Anyways, that is pretty cool. It's totally a world that I'm not familiar with, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Great. I think you know, I actually got to know. I think Vitalik, he used to play D&D, and his favorite character, they actually took it off from there. And then he was like, he was really mad, and I didn't know. I just read it somewhere that actually inspired to kind of, you know, go get into the NFT space as well. So I think it's D&D has done some great things to Web3 space. Cool. If no questions, then maybe we can actually move forward and then follow up everything by introductions. And yeah, I think that's it for today. And thank you everyone for joining us. And it has been an incredible year, and looking forward to an amazing 2024 with all of y'all. So let's have a chat and then collaborate. Wish you all the best. Merry Christmas advance. And a Happy New Year. See you guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Merry Christmas,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.